What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK, and today we're starting a new series called Revisited. So sit back and crack a bottle for old time's sake and enjoy this insane look back at Eminem's Relapse album. Let's go. Alright guys, so in this new series called Revisited, is basically revisiting old albums that are at least 7 years old, and basically I'm going to go off of a 10 bullet points, and we're going to go off of each video in that fashion. We're going to talk about like the initial reception of the album, we're going to talk about their sales, we're going to talk about the backstory, and we're also going to have the Acquire Nuts thoughts, and we're also going to have my thoughts, and just a plethora of things in this bullet points, which you're probably seeing this somewhere on this screen. So this is definitely going to be the series that I'm going to have moving forward for albums in the future. But today's album is going to be the Relapse album. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the initial reception. The reception to Relapse wasn't the best. I remember when the album came out and a big deal was made about the accents, which Eminem made mention of not being aware of how many accents he's used in this album. However, the album wasn't received the best amongst the hip-hop crowd. The reviews from the media wasn't the best either. I do feel there may have been a high expectation due to the long hiatus Eminem had in between albums, but this was the start of Eminem's rap ability being questioned and also not regarded as highly as he once was. Leading up to the album, you can make an argument Eminem was untouchable, on the mic and perceptionally. Side note, Dr. Dre was literally a part of 14 out of the 15 songs on this album, not including the deluxe version or the refill version. Leading into the release of Relapse, we have not heard from Eminem on an album since 2006 on the Re-Up compilation album, and not in a solo album fashion since 2004 in the Encore album. Internet news didn't spread so fast back in these days, but most hip-hop fans got word of Eminem's overdose to methadone in December of 2007. He subsequently went back to the hospital for an injury he sustained from when he fell during the overdose, but shortly after started a 12-step program to get right. As a fan, we knew what the title meant for Eminem, as his writer's block was noted in interviews leading up to the release. While the album is about his addiction, it's also a relapse into his alter ego, Slim Shady, where we got the crazier style of Eminem music. Okay, now leading up to this album, I will specifically speak from my experience watching all of the promotions and promo that they did for the album. I remember the Crack a Bottle song being out and being a massive hit with 418,000 digital sales in the first week, which was a record at that time. What I do remember most were the 3 a.m. video commercials when he's sitting in a bathtub filled with blood, giving us an ominous direction with this new project. I also remember it being a part of the NBA playoff commercials quite a bit. There was hype going into this album. It's been about 4 to 5 years that we've heard from Eminem on an album or a solo album. It was the big Eminem comeback approach to the album. And being a fan of hip hop, there was no way you didn't know that this album was coming out, especially with the video release of 3 a.m. leading up to it. Interscope gave Eminem a big push for this album, but the same couldn't be said for 50 Cent in 2007, but that's a different topic. Being one of the most anticipated albums of 2009, Eminem's Relapse brought in 608,000 first week sales, and in March of 2014, Relapse was certified double platinum with 2.3 million copies sold. Not bad for an album people hated when it was released. Hottest song at the time. Relapse was released on May 19, 2009, and the hottest song at this time was probably by the hottest artist of the year. It was Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas. Crazy, huh? Lady Gaga was dominating the charts at this time as well. Alright, so we know that Crack a Bottle, it was a #1 hit within 2 weeks of being on Billboard. But I would say that Beautiful peaked at #4 and was undoubtedly a fan favorite. I would also say Beautiful was kind of a sneak peek into what Recovery was going to be more about.
All right, bro, this is Acquire Nuts. Episode 12, man. Big 12. Fuck 12.
A foot long.
Fuck 12. The fuck?
What we got going on here, dog?
She got words on it. She say TGK TV, Eminem's Relapse.
Oh, yeah, we supposed to do that breakdown.
You want us to break down Eminem's Relapse?
Yeah, let's get it.
You want to do it?
Let's do the acquired thoughts on the fucking breakdown of the Eminem album. I'm Reggie. He Jay, by the way.
Yep. The names be damned.
Be damned, the names.
Was Square Dance. The last verse he did on Square Dance. Man,
he was rapping.
Bro, when he say, Yeah, you laugh till your motherfucking ass gets drafted while you in band camp thinking that crap can't happen. Till you fuck around, get an anthrax napkin wrapped in the packages, saran wrap rapping. You join the army and what you do for the Navy. You just a baby getting recruited at 18. You on the plane now eating their food and they baked beans. I'm 28. They gonna take you before they take me.
Yes.
Fuck me up, dog.
Yeah.
That nigga went in, dog. So when I heard that, then I listened to Relapse. I'm like, this ain't the same M.
Yeah. When you said anthrax, that shit reminded me he was telling no girl he'll backhand her ass and slap her with anthrax Tampax that she can't stand.
Right.
And you can't give me that and then go to fucking Relapse.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, bro.
Again.
I'm sorry. Like 3 a.m. is my shit. Like I like the video. I like all that shit. That shit was dope. But like overall, I was underwhelmed. I was really at the time when that shit came out. I was looking forward to hearing what he would come back with.
Yeah, man. He came. The king came back. He dropped.
Yeah.
I remember pulling up in college, bro, and bumping Kim loud as fuck. When he
don't make me wake this baby. She don't need to see what I'm about to do.
Crying, bitch. Why you always make me shout at you?
Why you make me shout at you?
How could you?
Hey,
just leave me and love him out the blue.
After Relapse, after he did all of that, he gave us Cleaning Out My Closet, I'm the Real Shady. I had all of that shit stand, and then you gave us Relapse.
So what we saying, it was okay.
Hated it.
Well,
I ain't really hated it.
It's kind of like when you reach a certain success, the only person you can compare your music to is yourself. So comparing Relapse album to other albums that came out that year, it probably stand up. But comparing Relapse to Eminem Show and Marshall Mathers LP, I'm like,
when you set the bar so high, Drake said that shit one of his bars. He said, I set the bar and I watched niggas go under it or whatever he said. Whatever that bar was, that shit was dope. But that's how I felt with the Eminem album. At that time, like, I was looking for that comeback, right? And I ain't get it. So, but, you know.
I'm with you, bro. Especially when the same rapper give you, since I'm in the position to talk to these kids and they listen, I ain't a politician, but I kick it with them a minute. You see, they call me a menace, but if the shoe fits, I wear it. But if it don't, y'all can swallow the truth, grin and bear it. Now, who the king of these rude, ludicrous, lucrative lyrics?
We know you rap, Eminem. We know you
What was
rap.
that? Kamikaze, I think it was, with the plane jump. Yeah.
But the rap guy shit, when he did that shit, they say that I'm a rap guy. The shit he did with Wayne, like, you know, No Love and all that shit.
Right.
And we know you rap, Eminem. We know you rap. Hey, man, but the Relapse, it wasn't it. Long story short, Relapse is not the Shady LP.
It ain't. It ain't the Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah, it's not March. It's not that.
It ain't Eminem Show.
It ain't
it's probably his worst good album.
And that's all I got to say about that.
You heard it here, folks.
And my bubble gum. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right, so you got to see the Acquire Nuts perspective and thoughts on this album. Now, we're going to be a little different from their thoughts to how I felt about this album. But if you want to see their full review of what they sent to me, definitely check out their YouTube channel. It's going to be in the link in the description below. But let's get into my thoughts. So for me, the album, when it first came out, I thoroughly enjoyed this album. First and foremost, the Dr. Dre production and also the beat selection that was picked handpicked out by Eminem in this album. I believe he said he made about 50 to 60 songs. So I could only imagine all of the records that he potentially had. And to have Dr. Dre be a part of the process and just the beat selection, every single beat you could just play and it's like, damn, this is high quality type of production. The creativity from Eminem playing with different accents and also going into his alter ego, Slim Shady, and also talking about, you know, his relapse and how he's come back from it, and also opening up in that Insane song. I mean, I would say that now that it's so popular for sus songs to be out there, that was as sus as it comes, but I figure it's a real story for him, even though if he were to release that now, people would kind of look at it a little differently. And then on top of that, I do believe this album was one of the first rap albums that had a deluxe version and then also a refill version. This is also something that a lot of rappers do now. They'll release an album and within literally a week or two, you got a whole nother album, another deluxe album with the same amount of tracks that was on the original. So I do feel that this was ahead of his time when he was releasing a deluxe and a refill. So I will say that Eminem was a little bit ahead of his time with the whole deluxe and the refill versions of these albums. The deluxe version had My Darling. I do remember the refill had Buffalo Bill, amongst other songs on there. So the deluxe and the refill version had music on there that was really solid. And from a lyricism perspective, he was killing it. But also on the actual album Relapse, it was just different. It felt authentic to who Eminem is and was. And it was also him showing them different styles of himself with Beautiful, with Deja Vu, but also going into a whole different lane with 3 a.m. and then also opening up with Insane, and not to mention Crack a Bottle, Old Time's Sake, Same Song and Dance. It's just all these songs had very memorable beats and also a different style of approach when it comes to cadence, lyricism, the creativity, and the accents. Eminem brought a lot of style into this album, and I do feel that there is a cult following into this album, like myself, that really enjoyed his album over time as his age. But I would say, in my perspective of the album, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think a lot of that album had a lot to offer, and I do think it has some replay value even till this day. All right, so this is my top 3 favorite songs from the Relapse album. 3 a.m. was definitely one of my favorites. It was a really cool and dope introduction into the album, especially with the ominous serial killer vibe that he did give throughout the album. 3 a.m. basically captured all of that in a perfect way and was definitely ahead of his time. He was on Demon Hours back in the day. Beautiful was just a beautiful song. It fit perfectly when the song came on, and there's absolutely no disagreements with this record. I'm pretty sure this has to be a fan favorite. It's definitely one of my favorite records on that album, and I definitely go back quite a bit and listen to the song back and forth. And my third favorite song was definitely Crack a Bottle. 50 Cent, you already know he's one of my favorite rappers, but Crack a Bottle was a dope ass song. It was a #1 song on Billboard. This was Eminem's second #1 song. This was 50 Cent's, I think, 4th or 5th #1 song, and also Dr. Dre's 4th or 5th #1 song as well on the Billboard Hot 100. But Crack a Bottle was definitely dope, and it's definitely one of my top 3. Now, my honorable mentions are definitely My Darling. My Darling basically capsulated. Yeah, we can say capsulated. It captured everything that he was trying to get across in his album. It's basically him, his relapse into his alter ego, but also his entire overdose with the medicine. So he's basically having this conversation with himself about who he thinks he is, or what his alter ego thinks he should be, or what, he's fighting these demons and what they think he should be. It's a really creative song. We've heard other artists attempt this, but I think in My Darling it was really solid, to be completely honest. And Stay Wide Awake is one of my other favorite songs, just because of the fact of the beat selection, the different style of cadence and rap that Eminem brought into that song. It was just different, and it was just a nonstop type of lyrical assault that he gave on that record. And shout out to Dr. Dre for that beat. That was crazy. All right, let's talk about it. How would this album do if it was released today? It wouldn't do too well. There's a lot of things that Eminem said in this album that would be highly offensive to a lot of people, which I'm not going to repeat on here. But I think when this album came out, it came out at the right time. It's just hip hop was definitely changing into a different direction at that time. I think we were all kind of still on the Lil Wayne hype train. So when Eminem came back after 5 years of not hearing him, we got the Slim Shady that we ain't heard in a long time. So I don't know. It was tough back then, but I think back then was more acceptable versus how it would have been acceptable now, especially with a lot of the things he did say in that album. There would have been cancel culture all over this album. It was very, very controversial in the way he approached the album. But a lot of the stuff he said in this album wouldn't be appreciated or even appropriate to the masses, right? And Eminem is a massive artist, and he appeals to a massive crowd. So, I mean, he released it; it would have been successful today, even as it was back then. But I just don't think with the messaging that he did have in certain songs, it wouldn't have hit as well. But damn, did he have some great music in this damn album? But I think when it came out, it came out at the right time for Eminem. All right, guys. So that's been Revisited, Eminem's Relapse album. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, throw some suggestions on other albums you want me to do this style of video to. Let me know what you think of this entire video. I really appreciate you watching. Again, it's been your boy TGK. Shout out to the Acquired Nuts. We're going to catch y'all on the next one.